Dzień dobry, YouTube! Witamy to another episode of Atticus Eats, and my dear friends, welcome back to my hobbit hole, my hobbit kitchen. Oh my goodness, cool people. This is a particular treat that we get to have together today. This is so amazing. Obviously, as you all know, as I've mentioned multiple times in videos, in the comment section, on my live streams on Twitch, I am a Polak. I'm a Polish boy. My mom is Polish. My mom's family are from Poland. And so we have a lot of, I personally have a lot of pride from my Polish heritage. I love learning about Poland, love the people of Poland. Love the art, you know, the history, the food. I love all of the different elements to Poland. It's something that is so fun for me to not only study, but obviously even the Polish language, which is what I say and what I'm speaking at the beginning and ending of my videos and live streams. But also just everything that goes into that. I'm definitely a Polophile, if that can be a term. I'm so enriched and excited and proud of my heritage, and I love being able to study it and live it out, and I think that that is so cool to be able to share with you all, especially on the videos and on the live streams. And so bearing that in mind, many of you amazing people have said, hey, you need to try Polish food on the stream. And it's like, I know, I do. And what was so heartbreaking, unfortunately, is that there was exactly one Polish restaurant that was within driving distance from me. And unfortunately, that restaurant was shut down. They had to close. They got very, very, very hurt during COVID. And then even more so because of the economy that we had to deal with for the past 4 years. Unfortunately, that resulted in this actual off-the-boat from Poland family needing to close down their business, which is insanely heartbreaking. I even have friends of mine from church that they are Polish, and the mom and the dad are Polish, and they would take their family, their kids, to go and eat at this restaurant all the time. It was some of the best food that they could have possibly had, and they were heartbroken. They were actually the ones who told me that the restaurant closed down. And so that was so heartbreaking, and for this past year, really, I haven't really known, hey, how can I make an Atticus Eats Polish food video for you all? And then it's like, wait a minute, duh. Mama Bear is Polish, and she has Polish recipes, and so if Mama Bear makes food, Atticus gets to eat Polish food for you all on the Atticus Eats. And so that's what we're doing today, my dear friends. My dear friends, I came home from church on Sunday, and when I did, I was bathed opening my front door with the wonderful odoriferous sense of everything that makes Polish food delicious. Meat and sauerkraut and potatoes and butter, of course, and onions. And I go, oh my goodness, Mom, the house smells magnificent. What did you make? And she said, I made Polska Kielbasa. And I was like, oh, dziękuję, dziękuję, Mama. And it was just so amazing. I ended up eating a significant amount of it over the past couple of days, but I'm not sick of it because it's Polska Kielbasa, and we're gonna have that now. So, my dear friends, I want to show this to you all. This is a recipe that my mom learned from her mom, so my grandmother, again, carrying on the Polish tradition, which is so cool. Polska Kielbasa recipe, and again, obviously, as you can see by the vacant spots of this lock and lock, we have eaten a significant amount of this, but we're going to eat more of it now, because that's what we do. And without getting into too much of the detail of the recipe, just because I know my mom can articulate that far better than I could, this is Polska Kielbasa, sauerkraut, onions that she grilled up in the pan and kind of caramelized a little bit, and these wonderful, wonderful potatoes. Her mom would do different variations, so again, my grandmother, Mama Debbie's mom, would do different variations of adding in different spices, different herbs to the dish and make it, you know, even better. Anything from caraway seeds, I believe it was, to, you know, all these different types of herbs and spices. But the way that my mom makes it, she knows that I absolutely love it, and so that's what we have here today. Again, you know, lots of all the good stuff, all the good food groups that a good Polak needs to eat to become big and strong, and that's what we're going to be having here today. So, without further ado, I'm gonna get my portion out of the Lock and Lock and into the China Mart brand China. Let me heat this up real quick. I'll bring you back, and we will consume together. So, I just heated up this amazing Polska Kielbasa, and before I jump into the food part of it, I was sitting and wanting to share this as well. One of the many things that makes Polish culture and the history of Poland so incredibly interesting for me is the geographical placement of Poland. Obviously, it's kind of right smack dab in the middle of Germany and Czechoslovakia and Russian-influenced countries, etc. And the long history of Poland, with the reality that its borders did kind of change quite a bit because of war in different periods of time and empires at the time, it's so interesting to witness and see the different influences that progressively influenced Poland over the years. But again, the way that Poland is, it's its own unique culture. It's its own unique history, it's its own unique everything. Artistry, even military history and warrior frame of mind, music, and especially food. And what's so amazing is that in that region of the world, again, what are the different food groups that make up meals? It is a lot of meat, salted meat, potatoes, you know, you have the different things like your breads and your cheeses and, you know, vinegar type of foods, right, pickled things, and sauerkraut as well. And even when you study the language, the Polish language, I can pick up, because I've heard both languages throughout my life, the notes of, like, German influence with the Russian influence, you know, it's that Eastern European kind of sound. And I've even had some of you amazing people who hail from the Czech Republic who have said, hey, this word that you're saying reminds me of Czech. Are you speaking Czech, or what are you speaking? No, I'm speaking Polish. Ah, that makes sense to me now, you know. And so that's always so cool, and that's something that I love, and is a treat for me, especially given that being able to make these videos, it goes out globally. It's not just limited to one section of the world, and so I can get people like you amazing people from Poland who know that I am Polish. I love you all. I love the country. I love the heritage, the history, etc. Proud of my own, you know, proud of my heritage, my history, and absolutely love and adore the food. And so I want to show that to you all now. I'm removing my paper towel splatter guard, and let me show you. That's a healthy growing boy portion, and you've got all the different food groups, from the potatoes to the kielbasa to the onions that again got kind of grilled, caramelized. Mom says that she's not happy with this batch because the onions got a little bit burnt to her. Be that as it may, it just tastes caramelized to me, and so I really, really, really like it. She would have done it just slightly differently, she told me, but beyond that, this is incredible, and of course the sauerkraut as well. Now, I believe that this is something that's true in Poland, but I also know it's kind of a Germanic thing as well. But I am a mustard guy. I've brought that up a couple different times in videos and live streams, that even when I was little, I would subsist on mustard sandwiches, which was literally a piece of bread with mustard on it, folded over into a sandwich, and I would eat that. And this is this is not exempt from mustard. Now granted, this mustard is French, but we're gonna put this on here because it's good yellow mustard. So I like to put a nice half-inch layer, that way it can mix all throughout the deliciousness that is the Polska Kielbasa. It adds a spice to it that I'm particularly fond of, yes. And so you guys, this is not only Polish food, this is mama bear food. And you all know that if your mom makes something, it's automatically 10 times better than just it by itself. And so, this is such a treat. Let's give thanks. So grateful, my friends. Let's dive right on into it. We'll get a bite that has multiple things in it. onions, some sauerkraut, some kielbasa. Mmm. Oh my word. The vinegariness of the sauerkraut, right? You've got that little bit of that leafy, crunchy bite. But then it melds well with those earthy notes from the onions. That sweet earthy note, because again, it's more like a caramelized onion. And then you get that bright salt taste of the Polska Kielbasa. It's so stinking good. Oh my goodness. Let's get some potato in there too. Potatoes and onions. That's like life. That is a winning combination. Oh. Mm-hmm. Mmm. Oh my word. Mmm. So incredibly good. And it's so funny too, because I've made mention of this before. I'm not a big sausage guy. Sausage to me is just so like grizzly and fatty and nasty. If you herb it the wrong way, it just ends up tasting like sage, and for me, that just doesn't taste right. I'm not big on that. But when you get to kielbasa, this, I could eat like 45 pounds of it in a week, and I'd be happy. She makes my mom cuts them up into those nice thin coins, right? So they can get that little grilled, crunchy skin on the outside. Mmm. And it gives you a perfect bite, but still soft, delicious, you know, Polska Kielbasa on the inside with all the different flavors. Oh my word. Absolute perfection. And then the potatoes in and of themselves are an art form. Because if you do potatoes wrong, they can be way too hard, and then it's almost jarring when you eat them. Or they can be so soft that they just disintegrate, and I've mentioned that before. And when that happens, you're like, it's not quite mashed potatoes, and it's not regular potatoes, so it's just kind of weird. It's almost like a very mealy, starchy taste in your mouth. And that's not what happened here at all. Mom cooked the potatoes perfectly. We've got just enough bite that, like, you're eating something hearty and warm. But it's not too much where it's so firm you're, like, crunching into a potato, right? Mmm. Mmm. Do you know what kind of meal this is, my friends? This is the kind of meal, at least for me it is. I'll make this declarative for myself, and you guys can chime in the comment section. This is one of the test meals that when you're dating a lady, and you want to see not only can she cook, but can she cook what you want, you have her cook. And I'm projecting this and foreshadowing this for the future, right? Like, hey, oh, sweetheart, I love you. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, make me Polska Kielbasa. We'll see. Definitely, this is on my list of meals that a future lady, I'd like to have her. This'll be like one of the tests. How well do you make Polska Kielbasa? Mmm. Oh my word. You guys, I was ravenous. Like, Polska Kielbasa, that my mom makes, of course, is one of those things where I don't think I can get sick of it while we have the leftovers for it. That's like the 4th time I've eaten Polska Kielbasa in the span of 3 days. And it's like, it's amazing. It's so incredibly good. And I love that I got to share at least some semblance of Polish food with you all here on the channel. And what better than Polska Kielbasa? So incredibly cool. Hopefully one day I can share pierogies with you all here on the channel. That would be like a dream come true kind of thing for me, being able to get from a Polish restaurant. That would be incredible. That would be insane. But I had a little bit of a hankering for something sweet, just because everything that we ate was really kind of salty. And so I wanted to share this with you all, because I've mentioned this a number of different times. Hands down, my favorite grocery store, period, is Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's, and it is such a fun store to explore. And again, they have their seasonal stuff that comes out all the time, and it's such an adventure to try new things there, but also have favorites and standbys. This, my friends, is something that is always in the pantry here at my house. My mom and I love the dark chocolate peanut butter cups. Now, they have milk chocolate, but being a good Polish boy, I love dark chocolate. These dark chocolate peanut butter cups are, in fact, better than Reese's. 100%. So, I cannot recommend these and highly recommend these enough. Obviously, you know, Polska Kielbasa. Tell me if you all make Polska Kielbasa. Tell me what your recipes are. I have a friend of mine, my friend who, his parents are also Polish, and they used to go to that Polish restaurant that I mentioned earlier. His mom will make Polska Kielbasa. She'll actually marinate it in like a barbecue sauce with some other stuff, and it gives it that really unique kind of sweet, smoky flavor. I'm more partial to what my mom does, where it's just straight across the board, you know, cooking in either olive oil or butter or margarine, and it's just the taste of the meat itself is what's so good for me, and then how she does it up with, again, the onions, the sauerkraut, having all those juices meld together in the pan as she's cooking it. But, tell me what your recipes are in the comment section below. Would love to hear that, but I wanted something sweet, so we're gonna have one of these here. So good. It's a little fella, but it's so nice. Focus. So let's go ahead and partake in this. The trick to these, even though they're like poppable, you could fit the whole thing in your mouth in one go. The trick is bite it in half, and then you relish it more. These with coffee are also really good. Mmm. Oh, yeah. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mmm. While I love a good milk chocolate, dark chocolate for me is where it's at. It's more of a rich, robust chocolate flavor. That's not like watered down, air quote. Don't get me wrong, I'll demolish a milk chocolate Snickers bar or a milk chocolate Bordeaux, like from C's Candies. I'll go there. But the dark chocolate, especially this dark chocolate that Trader Joe's sells, amazing. Bright, cocoa-y chocolate deep flavor, with that sweetness and the creaminess of the peanut butter and that gentle, earthy peanut taste. Perfect combination. I've heard people say that they don't know the goodness that is like chocolate and peanut butter together. And, you know, we need to pray for those people. But hopefully they get delivered from whatever oppressive entity is causing that. But, yeah, no, you need to be able to have these. Try these. If you're not sure about chocolate and peanut butter, try these. You will convert like that. On that note, cool people, let's go ahead and answer just a couple questions from all of you amazing people down in the comment section. And I want to remind you all once again, please, if you have any questions whatsoever, drop them in the comment section below. Sometimes there's questions that get posed that I will answer in the comment section, but for the most part, I want you guys to ask those questions so that way I can have the opportunity to be able to answer them on videos like this. Makes for an awesome conversation. And, oh my goodness, what was it? I think it was C.S. Lewis. Mom and I, we just started watching this amazing documentary on Prime last night. And actually, this is a perfect tie-in to last week's episode, because last week I had mentioned with you guys that we love the show All Creatures Great and Small that Masterpiece Theater is making, the new one. And Nicholas Ralph, who plays James Herriot in All Creatures Great and Small, he is also playing in this movie that we're watching. And it's about C.S. Lewis, and it's called The Most Reluctant Convert. It's incredible. Please watch it if you haven't already. Made in 2022, shockingly, and we had never heard about it until this past week. Mom found it when she was browsing on Prime, and we were like, heck yeah, let's rent this and take a look at it. And Nicholas Ralph plays C.S. Lewis when he was younger. And it's all about him and his, education, his upbringing, how he got to the point of coming to faith and becoming the amazing author and theologian that he did. Beautifully, remarkably fascinating. Love the vocabulary that is used in it. It's so enriching. And it's beautiful to see the scenery and everything. But he was talking about the importance of having conversation and food paired together. And that was part of his tutelage with the great knock. And, oh my goodness, please watch it, because when you do, you'll understand everything that I'm speaking about here. But it was priceless. But again, that's, another element that I love here in our interactions with these videos. We get to have the pleasure of delicious and good food and being able to share that with each other, and then being able to have excellent conversation as well. So we have a couple really good ones. Again, I'm going back up through my list of all the amazing questions that you all have asked me in time. And so this first one is kind of a deeper one. And it's Dear Girl 7356 on YouTube. And she asks, what is the best advice you wish you would have learned sooner? What is your life's motto? So, again, it's amazing to me, and I'm grateful that you people would ask me questions like that. I'm not taking for granted ever the value that you all give me, whether it be not just merely watching these videos and spending your time with me, but even more, you're actually taking the time to get to know real me, beyond just a character that I might have played on TV, or in an animation project, or on the radio, or whatever. You're giving me the opportunity to show real me, and how I think, and how I feel, and that's very much a blessing for me. And so I greatly appreciate that. I've mentioned this so frequently, that one of the beauties of life is lifelong learning. And one of the greatest skills that you can receive and have at a very young age is the ability to learn and have a love of learning. And that, with me being a homeschooled child, was what my mom instilled in me, and actually from that set me up for success for the rest of my life. And it's given me the opportunity to do what I'm doing now, that I absolutely love and adore, and that we all get to participate in together, whether it be the streaming, or these videos, or even interests and hobbies. I can learn to be better at those things because I know how to learn. And that's part of life. And this is a wonderful question that points to lifelong learning. I know what I know, and I'm confident in that, but I also know that I don't know what I don't know. And that's going to be a joy in being able to learn about those things and grow as a human being, which we should all do. And the first part of that question being, what is the best advice you wish you would have learned sooner? The thing is this, and I don't mind saying this, I've had a lot of people that have tried to advise me, and they had no business trying to advise me, right? And I'm mostly speaking about people on set, and the people that would try to get into my life because of my notoriety, because of the show, and influence me, but they had their own ulterior motives. And that has really greatly bothered me. I have gotten actual good advice and like food for thought from a very small, exclusive bunch of people, and the top of that being my mom. My mom is a person who I can say, as a human, right? We have God who knows everything. He knows me better than anyone or anything will know me. Check. But my mom, as a human, knows me better than any human being could know me currently here on the earth. Because she raised me, she knows all of my upbringing story, she knows all of my past events that caused me either trauma or great joy, or that was growth or big moments in my life. She knows me. She is a person who is allowed to give me advice. And when she gives me advice, she's not dictating to me, you need to do this. It's, well, hold on, let's think about it this way. Let's be objective. Let's look at the big picture. I know why you feel that way because of this event that happened in your life, blah, blah, blah. But then I would have other people on set who would, like, flat out try to make stuff that I would do that kept me healthy to be a negative. How I'm living my life is wrong for some reason that has no bearing on anything whatsoever. You know, oh, you shouldn't do that, what's wrong with you? Oh, you're being like this. And they would actually label me. And that came from people I worked with to, you know, like even social media, right? One of the negatives of the internet is that, granted, while we're able to open ourselves up and share good things with many different people, unfortunately malicious people have access to that too, and they try to interfere with people's lives on a grander scale as well. And that's very frustrating. And you need a lot of intestinal fortitude to be on the internet. And if you can't be on the internet because it affects you that viscerally, there's no shame in getting off of the internet, right? But anyway, where I'm going with that is that I have received good advice in my life from very few people, right? And a lot of what I have learned about myself and learned about life, I learned from being able to observe my surroundings, situations that I've been in, and then learn from them, right? Which in and of itself is a skill. And I cannot encourage that enough to all of you. The advice is actually, it's not that I never heard it before, it's that I didn't apply it the way that I should have until recently in my life. And if you ask me this, it's the same consistent answer, and I'm bringing my mom back into this, that the greatest advice I've ever been given by anyone was by my mom, and it was, Atticus, always be yourself. You don't need to change who you are to impress other people who are either flippant or transient in your life anyway. What you need is to be true to yourself, and only in competition with yourself, and that competition is to just try to be a better version of yourself and learn and grow every day. You're not trying to beat out other people. You're not trying to be a chameleon to blend in with other people. You be true to yourself, and then in time, the right people who will accept you for you are going to come into your life, and then that's when you have longevity friendships and relationships, etc. That is the advice that I wish I would have learned. I learned early in my life. I didn't apply to the fullest extent I could until later in my life, in recent years especially. And that also is a situation that circles back to what really matters. What does matter in life, right? There's too many things in the world that can become idols, and they shouldn't be. There's responsibilities that we need to have and we need to steward well, but we cannot have that cross the line into idolatry. And so, in relating that to the second part of that question, which is, what is your life's motto? As I've mentioned many times, my mom and I love great words, words that have a lot of beauty, words that have strength, words that have wisdom, chief of which, obviously, is the Bible. There is wisdom that's in the Bible that is unprecedented anywhere else. But what's beautiful is that God gave us minds that are logical and reasoning and can be creative and can be imaginative, and we can observe the world around us and situations that happen in life and express that in a deep and meaningful way, which is an art form that's been lost to us in this modern age, and I really hope more of us on a broader scale can go back to, where you're not sitting and pontificating yourself as a pseudo-intellectual, but rather it's an outward beauty. It's I'm seeing and taking in beauty, and I cannot help but be in awe of it and express the wonder and the wisdom that's in it. And so I'm looking at this right now because it's on our fridge, and I can remember a wonderful conversation that Mom and I had. It was like season 2 of the show, after season 2. And we were really seeing the notoriety for the show picking up. And when we did, we wanted something that could be like an anchor and a through line for anything. Publicity, how I live my life, whatever it may be, how we live our lives. And one of my mom's favorite poets, and he's become one of my favorite poets, is Ralph Waldo Emerson. I don't remember the name of this poem, but I'm going to read it to you right now, and we have it up on our fridge, and it's remained up on our fridge because it's been our life motto. And I've seen this poem on our fridge for as long as I have a memory. And it reads, "To laugh often and much, to win respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a redeemed social condition, or a job well done. To know even one other life has breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded." That is real success. It's not the amount of money that you make. It's not the number of followers on an Instagram account. It's not how often people are talking about you. It's what do you do in your tiny, tiny portion of this very big, wide world, and how you interact with the people that get brought into your life. That is what matters, my friends. And you know what? I think that that's a good note to end on. Some good food for thought for this week. Dear girl, thank you so very much for that fantastic question that you asked me. And my friends, thank you so much for listening and joining me once again today. My friends, do me a favor. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up button on this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And please be sure to share this video on all your social media. I love seeing how the community has been growing. And I definitely want that to continue with the right people. And the right people are not going to be able to find this if it's not out there. So in whatever capacity you can, please help me out in that regard. It means the world to me. Also, if you'd like to continue to support me even beyond YouTube, please check out the links in the description box below. There's a link to my Twitch channel. That's a wonderful, wonderful community that is also growing, and I'm so grateful for it. But if you're a Christ follower, if you want to have some good fellowship, some friendship, and just a great place to come feel safe and hang out, definitely please be sure to come to the Twitch stream. Be kind and obey the rules, please. I go live on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific. Would love to have you come by. We've been in some story-driven games recently that have been a lot of fun, and those games are kind of being completed, and I'm going to be starting some new story-driven games, which I'm very excited about, not the least of which being the new Indiana Jones game that was just released recently, along with a few other things. So it's definitely a great time. Come hang out with us. Also, please be sure to book me down on Cameo. The link to my Cameo page is down below as well. Please be sure to book me on Cameo. I would love to be able to partake in any of your special celebrations, whether it be for yourself or people that you love that are in your life. I would love to make your special days extra special, and you can do that by booking me on Cameo down below. That's also a great means of supporting me even beyond the channels and directly supporting the work that I do to make these videos and to make my live streams happen on my channels. My dear friends, thank you all so much for being you. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend, and I can't wait to see you all for the next video. God bless. Do widzenia.
I just want a great life, something where I feel like I just didn't waste time, something I look back and say that was a great time, 'cause man, I just hate when the years pass by the way